Yo, what is up, everybody? Let's get it. Welcome to day 1 of PYS 2 for the spring season tournament of 2023. I hope that y'all are excited. I am excited. And yeah, let's get it. Hope that we have some good games today. I'm actually kind of interested in the matchups that we've got. I put in the announcement on the Discord. I don't have it in the title, but we will be watching group number 7 today. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, which it likely doesn't, let me share all of the groups with you right now. So let's go ahead and take a look. Move myself over. I already am moved over. Let's go. So today, new groups have been drawn, as this is a new preview skill, a new tournament entirely, technically, just part of the same spring tour. I think he's watching group 3. Well, you are incorrect, unfortunately, Army. I'm watching group 7. But group number 1 here, we've got Joker, Nox, and BS. Group 2, 4L, VU, DVNY, and ZHX. I don't really know how to pronounce that. That's what I will go with. 3 is VG, Riot, Valley, and DQ. 4, SLG, Error, Straight, and MPs. Group 5, Origin, Hated, and Union. Group 6, Reggie, EC, 1pex, and K24. Group 7, Panda, Lux, MM, and Hako. This is the group that I will be streaming. I don't know what team I'm following. Maybe it's Panda, maybe it's MM. My guess is one of the two, but I don't know for sure. Group number 8, Elevate, PT2K, Eno, and Mix A. And group 9, Apex, INQ, and Redeemers. Those are your 9 groups for this tournament, so that means we will have 18 teams advancing to the next day. I believe 33 signed up for this PYS, and the top 2 for each group make it 2 times 9, 18 teams for tomorrow, and we will see who they are. There haven't really been many big upsets so far in this season. I mean, there was a set that Hated took over 4L, but 4L ended up winning their group. We can actually take a look at the clan leaderboards right now. So first, I guess we can look at our top 8. Most notably, the 5 teams that won their groups on Tuesday were Joker, Apex, 4L, Origin, and Reggie. Reggie actually kind of was an upset. Elevate, I mean, Reggie had a higher win rate seeding, I think, but Elevate, you know, they're a top 8 team from last season. Reggie didn't compete, so this was a bit of a surprise to see them winning their group. So a bit of an upset there, which is always good to see. And SLG almost defeated Origin, which is really good. They got 2nd place in their group. But this is how top 8 is looking like right now. Again, the first 5 teams are all tied on points, so it goes based on win rate, of which Joker has the highest win rate, Apex with 2nd. And it's actually going to be the same for 6th place through some of the others. Like 6th through 8th all have 3,305, of which SLG has the highest. But actually, if we go over here, the 9th place in... Oh, never mind. I thought for some reason they also had that amount. They do not. Never mind. Moonmen, Elevate, Hated, and VG right outside of top 8. INQ, Nox, INHO, 1pex, Hako, and DVNY are all right in there as well. So we've got a few ties around in here. Got apparently exact tie for 12th place. And for some reason this isn't showing us as 14th. It's showing us tie for 13th, even though technically they're tied for 14th. With the same exact points and win rate, which is, you know, pretty unexpected, but that is how it is going. And then if we look at the rest of the teams in here, BS, who was previously top 16, Veli, who was previously top 16, are the notable clans in here. Also Chrono, who's an OG clan that's been dead for a few years, is in here. But those are the notable teams in here right now. Now, we have seen Lux before. Lux is in this group, but they unfortunately have not yet won a game. They are 0% win rate, so they probably got double eliminated game, or day number 1 of PYS 1. And that is one of the teams that we will see. And I didn't remember what the others were. We saw... Oh, it's Hako. Hako actually had a pretty good showing for PYS number 1. Relatively speaking. I should go back. It's this way. I forget. I always forget. I have to click on the icons. They're not quite in top 8, but they are sort of close. They had a decent showing. They're in top 16 right now. So it is them, 9th place MM, and then 2 top 8 teams in this bracket. Alright, sorry. I'm being silly. Panda, Hako, and Lux. I'm sorry. So 2 top 9 teams is what I meant to say. Anyway, that is going to be our bracket for today. The invites are going to be out in about 5 minutes. I need to really quickly take care of something that is off stream. I hate doing this, but my software that I use for my stream deck, which is my automation tool that I use to kind of run the stream, change scenes, run the scoreboard and all of that, was mostly fixed from last stream where I had an issue sending out my pings, but there is one more thing that I noticed doing the pings today that I needed to fix, and so I'm going to take care of that right now. Now this, now I need to, let's see. So it looks like this didn't work. Okay, we're all good. Oh, my game is closing me out. That's interesting. Did not expect to see that. Welcome everyone in the chat, by the way. We've got Army, Milo, OG, and Ominous, and Tanks. Welcome all of you. Good to see everyone in here. Tanks with their first redeem and the nice redeem on Twitch. Hell yeah. YouTube, looks like it's being chilling right now. Stream is healthy quality. Good. Awesome. Now, the points for today's preview skill are going to be a little bit more than that of last time. So I don't know what the exact numbers were. I was trying to see if I could find them, but I don't have them on hand. How much each PYS win is worth. But I will try to see if I can find that in the meantime. But I don't think so. Anyway, I don't know exactly which team it is that I will be watching today, unfortunately. The sign-up sheet that I used only says what group I am in. And so I know that I'm in group 7, but I don't know which team I am watching today, unfortunately. But, not a big deal, of course. I'm happy to watch Panda, Hako, or Lux. And no matter which team I'm watching, at the end of the day, we will be watching all of, or at least all of the games that we can watch. It's not like as soon as the team that we're watching drops out, we just stop spectating, right? It'll just keep on going, so don't have to worry about that at all, which is really nice. I'm going to see if I can find those, the point values. Maybe it's a file that I have saved on the computer. I thought it was maybe a Discord picture, but it may not be. I don't have it on hand, unfortunately. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. I did try to find it before the stream, of course, but did not successfully do so. It would be around when Blitz Cup occurred. But yeah, no, I don't have it. Let's do this. Let's see. Yeah, it's not there. Okay. No worries, though. We are all good. I remember I did take the image from someone else's stream. I don't remember where it was, though. That's okay. Well, we have about a minute until we get our invite, and then I will be able to go ahead and see what teams we will be watching. So I'm going to switch myself over from the boring garage to my boring face. What's up, Eggy? Welcome to the stream. Hope that you're good. Just so we can hide the training room when I do get invited and enter. Yeah, I'm excited for today. You know, the seeds are a little bit different. Oh, there we go. We got our invite. We were following Panda or Lux, it seems. We'll be watching Panda v Lux. Awesome. Well, let's ready up and get out of there. Let's see. Do I have icons for both teams? I know I have Pandas. I might actually have Lux's icon. Do I? No, I don't. That's okay. I thought maybe I did. Panda's already turning up. Panda's got a solid roster this year. They have absorbed players from the former Leverage team. They've absorbed 3 of them, that is. They have Ranger, they have Lightronics, who is the captain, or one of the captains of the Leverage team, and Danny. So they've got 2 core members, plus Danny, who was on their team for at least 1 or 2 seasons. I think it was 2 seasons that he was on the team, but maybe it was only 1 actually, now that I think about it. So yeah. Do we have... I'm getting pings. All right. Well, we will just keep waiting a little bit until the delay allows us to show the training room and everything. Yeah, this will be the first time that we see Panda play, the first time that we see Lux play as well. We've already watched MM, so if we do end up seeing them again, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But it is always good to get exposure to new teams, and would like to see how Panda is approaching the competitive scene right now. And it does look like we can switch, so let's go ahead and do it. Looks like Lux is still showing up, but Panda already readying up in some tanks. Mostly tanks that we have seen, and it looks like 1 tank that we have not yet seen in this tournament, which would be the T-22 Medium, a reminiscent tank of old meta, where the T-22 was like the OP pay-to-win tank, and now the Sturv is the OP pay-to-win tank, of which there are 2 on the Panda team right now. So they are embracing it, but also Sherman rocking the T-22 Medium, which has been nerfed since, and you know, it's seen a lot less often. It's not nearly as dominant as it used to be. But, of course, the Sturv K is the tank that everyone's talking about right now. A tank with medium level mobility and DPM, but heavy level hit points, which is really useful, you know, of course, because hit points are at the end what helps your team to survive long enough to take out enemy guns and win. So, of course, having the best of both worlds is always nice. Now, the Sturv does suffer from having medium tank level armor as well. Not really a whole lot to speak of on the tank, but can bounce the occasional turret shot if it's angled correctly, I suppose, if you're using your gun depression. Looks like Lux may not field a team, unfortunately, for this first set. They only have 4 people in. One of them is moving in and out. This could look unfortunate for them. But yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Nox is just a better Joker, as Akame says in the chat. What's up, Akame? How's it going? And hey, comp, you have Joker, and then everyone else fighting for a second. That's kind of how it is right now. That's kind of how it is. Don't have a logo? Alright, no worries, kitty. Welcome to the stream, by the way. See that you're in there. I hope that y'all get your 7. Ranger ain't no way. Yeah, Ranger's in Panda, as is Lightronics and Danny. Danny's in the middle right now, and it looks like Lightronics just isn't there. Unless Lightronics dropped a team. I didn't hear about that if he did. Maybe I'll have to go and check the roster. But I thought Lightronics was on the team. He definitely was for the first one, if I'm correct. And it looks still not fielding 7. They've got interesting tanks. I don't think that they really expect a whole lot about or expect a whole lot to happen, even if they did get enough players to field a team. So unfortunately, game number 1 may not actually happen, and it looks like it did not happen. Unfortunate. Well, I'm sorry, kitty. And M-Baiter. Looks like it did not occur. And, oh, they got a 5th. Wait, hold on. They have a 5th. That's exciting. They can actually play. That's cool. First off, I want to see their roster. Do they have Light? They do. Okay, so Lightronix is on the team. He's just not there today. That's alright. And I guess we can take a look at the Lux roster while we are here. No, that's Panda. What am I doing? Lux. I'm looking at members, not matches. So they only have 7 registered, so that makes it very difficult. Kitty is the captain. We've also got Eris, Boreas, Yoxin, Trouble Jake, Flight Risk. I know Flight Risk, kind of. I've heard the name before. Embader and the Lord of Hell. I've also heard that name before. Well, that is the Lux team. Unfortunately, they do not have 7 tonight, and thankfully they will be able to run 1 game. Panda already taking themselves a bit less seriously with their lineup as the spawns do swap here for Wintermail. Not that the spawn swap mattered, because you had no idea what the spawns were anyway for the most part, unless you're paying really close attention. You know. They did get that game won by default though. Is it bannable to spoil that they didn't have 5 for the first battle? I got banned for saying what the fuck is retarded. Yeah, just don't spoil. Just don't spoil. Just don't spoil. Just... Alright, 10 seconds, and it looks like Lux will have enough for game 2. Let's get it. Panda rating up with a 183. Let's go, Ranger. Let's see it. I need to add to the scoreboard, I suppose. 3 Minotauros, a Kronvon, and a Grill, so auto reloader city here for Lux. We've got 07s for 34. Let's go. Much love, Lux. Give him a good show. Pafalipi says, stop tryharding. Yeah, honestly. 5 Minotauros is a bit too sweaty for my taste. Or, sorry, it was 3 Minotauros out of 5 tanks. I can't compensate clearly. We just wasted our 183 strat. Man, I wonder what Panda's going to do, if they're just going to try to farm him out for a win or have a little bit of fun this game. You know, I can't imagine this would be very difficult for them to do. But maybe they'll have some fun with it. Who knows? "82% Minotauro crew," he says. Also, Embader's already taken a hit. Shoots even Steven. Yeah, Steven's just driving right on, and he cares not. He's taken more damage than he's done, though. So Steven is unfortunately getting punished pretty hard. However, Embader shooting a little bit early in the Kronmon means that he's already got an empty clip. You don't want to shoot early in the Kron. You want to try to hold on to those shells as long as you can. Also, the Minnows are finally just getting their shots. Lord of Hell already died. I don't even think I even got to catch that on camera. Down goes Kitty in a second, but Steven falls. Steven actually does die. A 5-player Lux team manages to get a kill. No, it's not looking too good for them, admittedly, but they were able to pick up even Steven, so congrats to Lux. Y'all got a kill. I hope that you are able to field 7 for your set tonight. On the loser's side, unfortunately, it will be. Ranger with the gun in the air to show respect, but Skips does not care. He gets the kill, and that's the set. Very fast. And yeah, unfortunately, just... yeah, that happened. That was a thing. They got a kill, though. Honestly, I'm impressed that they got a kill. Good on them. Good for you. Well, yeah. that's that, I guess. Hope that y'all enjoyed that set. I don't know if I did. It was kind of to be honest, but I mean, that's okay. I think I'm gonna make it up to y'all with something a little bit more exciting. Something that I have received permission to do. And that would be something that I'm about to pull up in just a moment. Just switching over to the just chatting scene so I can hide what I'm doing for now. Oh, maybe it's not working. What's going on? Okay, I think we're good. Pretty too good. Let's go. Y'all are gamers. Also, Lomo's here. What's up, Lomo? Howdy, dude. We're following, I believe, Panda right now, Lomo. So if you are doing predictions, Panda just beat Lux, and so they will play the winner of MM versus Hako. Alright. Okay, so it's up. The stuff that I wanted is up, and I am ready to show you guys something that's kind of cool. I'm pretty excited for it. Something that I did a little bit of digging around with yesterday. Just kind of hanging out. I was allowed to show this yesterday, but today I get to finally stream it. You know, yesterday was just my day off. And what I wanted to show you is this. We are on open test for 10.0. Super exciting. You guys get to take a look at the new VZ55. A beautiful looking tank, by the way. I am a big fan of the model. I think the cheeks thing is pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't remember all the stats on hand, so we're going to have to go to the garage and take a look at those that way. But something that I wanted to show off right away is the special mechanic that the VZ is getting. Some of you may have already noticed that the user interface is slightly different for this particular tank. In fact, right under the reticle, y'all can see that there's a little bit of orange. A little bit of orange there. And originally it wasn't orange. If I sit still, you can see it's not there. I start to increase my speed, and you can see it's proportionally growing to my speed. And it's green until it hits that little thick line in the middle. I can't really zoom in and show you. But you guys can see, and maybe if I get to a more neutral background, it'll be easier, something nice and light. But you can see in the middle that there are those two little thicker lines, and as soon as the speed crosses those lines, it turns orange. Now that's an indicator of when your ability is active. As long as you're going under 15 kilometers an hour, your ability is active, and that means that you have perfect gun handling. Your gun handling is always perfectly zoomed in, as low as it can go. So you can see, so I'm just moving around, goofing, and I've got a large reticle like this. Now, as soon as I aim in, I've got my small reticle, and as long as I don't move my turret, as long as I'm within that green range of plus or minus 15 kilometers an hour, my bloom is not increasing at all. I have perfect aim. As you can see, once it goes orange, it starts getting bigger, and it gets big pretty fast. But if you are able to control your speed within this range, you were able to have perfect gun handling. However, it's a little bit harder to pull off in practice, unfortunately, because whenever you're turning your turret, it doesn't matter. You will still get a little bit of bloom increase. However, it's not nearly as bad as if you were, you know, moving around and everything, of course, like in a regular tank. You know, it's not that bad. You know, if you can move like around this speed and only have those slight increases in your bloom, and there you go. Like you can see, as soon as you lose the ability, now it's massive reticle. So by comparison, this is really not that bad at all. Pretty good. And you get a large range of motion as well. Like if you're trying to wiggle back and forth with your perfect gun handling, you can move a fair amount to try to hide your weaknesses. And of course the VZ has some pretty big weaknesses, the most notable being that massive cupola on the tank. Right on technically the left side of the turret, but looking up here you can see on the right side to the right of the gun. Not very easy to block with your gun either, like it can't really cover the entire thing. This is definitely a weak spot. And while the upper plate does look really strong on paper, I believe it was 270 millimeters and thick on the official stat page. Your lower plate is absolutely massive. It can be hard to hide, rather. So that's the VZ. Its armor, honestly, it's got some big weaknesses, and it can't really side scrape too well either. But the gun is pretty nice. Obviously, the handling, not too bad on its own, but you combine it with this ability, and it's actually pretty good. 470 alpha damage, I believe, was the number, which is pretty high for a heavy tank. We can go ahead and confirm all the stats in the garage, just to be sure in a minute here. But like a 12-second reload, so it's DPM. It's not horrible. It's solid actually. It's not too bad. But it is a heavy hitter. Doesn't have any special consumables as of right now. Don't know if they will add them coming into the game, but I wouldn't expect to see any special consumables on this tank, and thank goodness, man. I'm tired of them adding tungsten shells on tanks and then those tanks suddenly becoming overpowered. You know, it's a little bit goofy silly in my opinion. But I believe it's 7 degrees of gun depression as well, so it's better than like your Russian mediums and Russians that sometimes have like 5 degrees, which is something. So it is pretty nice to have, pretty cool. And yeah, that's a fancy little look at the tank here. Now I haven't really driven around the map yet. This is the new map. I can go around in a light tank, I think, in just a bit and show y'all what is going on here. I just drove myself off a hill accidentally, but I want to do at least showcase the new tank, which I think is pretty cool, pretty fancy tank. It does I also wanted to test something I'd never actually tested yet, is what tanks the ability's active on. So here's the tier 9. Really quickly gonna run into the room, see if it's on the tier 9. Looks like it's on the 9 as well. I didn't equip this one or anything, so it's on the tier 9. Now most of the abilities are just 9 and 10, so I doubt it's on the 8, but I mean, we'll give it a test. Because why not? The TNH 105 1000. It looks like it's not on the tier 8, so there you go. The ability is not available on the tier 8. Look at that goofy spaced armor on that turret. This is a silly, goofy looking tank. I like the gun on top though. Or is that just a light? It looks like it could be like a gun too, but no, it looks just like a light and binoculars. Never mind. It's cool though. Very nice. But yeah, let's take a look at the stats of the VZ. That's really the tank that everyone cares about, so I'm not even going to bother with the lower tiers. But we can go ahead and take a look. So 2544 hit points, that is with the hit point thing. By default, the hit points are only 2400. Well, I shouldn't say only 2400 because, you know, for tier 10 it's pretty good. Typical of a heavy, a little bit on the low end, but that's like kind of in line with most of the heavy M tanks, is 2400-ish. Once you start getting those high numbers is kind of like your super heavy range. So honestly, it's about on par. I usually like to use the hit points though, so I'm going to leave it there. So those are the hit points. Armor again, it looks pretty good on paper. 270 hull is really nice considering that angle, but again, you've got massive weak spots, so it's not really useful at all. Sides 100, which looks good, but you know, it's not great in terms of side scraping ability. This is the DPM 2400, so it's workable, I suppose. 470 alpha, okay, I did remember correctly. 410 on the regular and 610 with high explosives. That's a pretty good amount of high explosive, and the pen isn't terrible either. Like 75 is higher than a lot of tanks HE pen, so honestly, that's pretty reasonable HE in my opinion. I think it could be nice to carry a bit. It looks like I have 7 loaded up, not that it matters, because, you know, this is purely a testing. I haven't actually really interacted with other players a whole lot. And yeah, the gun handling, not horrible. 3.6, 3.44 is eh. But with the ability combined, it's going to be pretty useful, I think. I don't know if this will be a competitively used tank, though. 7 degrees gun depression. 20 up is standard-ish. Pretty good. But, I mean, it's the depression that everyone really cares about. And 7, workable. Top speed, forward and reverse. It says average of 30, but you can honestly get up to top speed pretty reliably in this tank. It accelerates not too bad, like maybe just a little bit slower than the IS-7 accelerates. And I haven't done any testing with other like streamers and content creators to compare it exactly, but in my subjective testing, it seems pretty reasonable, to be honest with you. And yeah, traverse, not amazing, not bad. There you guys go. That is the VZ55, the new Tier 10 coming in 10.0, and I don't know when the update will be, but it is a thing. Now I will go ahead and drive around a light tank just to show y'all the map that we are currently on, which is Lagoon. And I love Lagoon. I think it is such a cool map. I really do. It's awesome. I was spending actually a decent amount of time labbing it out yesterday with a couple people, just kind of streaming it in a training room, or streaming the training room in a Discord VC, and it's pretty cool. I'm a fan of this. Map is interesting. A lot of playable area too, and what I'm going to do eventually is I'm going to go back into free cam, and you can see it better from a free cam perspective. But right away, heading to the seaside, like, pretty open, but there's a lot of complex, like, firing lanes. Like, for example, something that I did pass up that I want to show you in a second. We've got these ramps leading to an overpass over there, but right away there is kind of like a sneaky TD spot that, like, either a TD could use for some firing lanes or even just a light tank for some general spotting. The sea base is pretty covered from it, so it's safe to cap against that position, but not against others, you know, if you can aggress into here. And as you look to the right, you have the sea base, and as you look to the left, you see, oh, this is a cool little overpass thing that you can get to most easily by crossing over it and into the enemy's ramp, which could be useful for hull down tanks as well. You can kind of see a little bit into the enemy's TD spawn, of which that you can see right there. Pretty interesting, and of course you can drive over this. Discovered like a janky little hitbox over here, right here. You can kind of see it dips down a little bit, which actually kind of messed up my speed a couple times when I drove over in reverse. Doesn't happen all the time. There you go, you just saw I hit something and I lost speed again, right there. So a bug that I reported to Wargaming, and I hope that they are able to fix. But that's this side of the map here. We can go to the B area, which is pretty closed off, but it's got some interesting positions that I want to show. So it's in the middle here of this little lane. Not very easy to get to other than just driving through it. This is also where the encounter cap is, by the way. So pretty enclosed in terms of being able to shoot it from far away. You kind of got to get up and close to it in order to reset it. But there are several ways, of course, you can do it. Of course, there's a lane here, and then the other side. So capping is not going to be the easiest thing to do. However, something that immediately drew my attention that I'm about to drive up to right now, which could be really strong for a nice hold-down heavy tank like a E5 or a Concept or even a 60 TP maybe. Haven't really tested it with the gun depression. Is this ridiculous-looking rock right here? Like, come on. This just perfectly hides the hull, exposes the turret. Of course, the T100 isn't really tall enough to look over it, but you grab yourself an E5 here in a Concept, you are, like, really looking good. In terms of shooting potential, like, can't see the most, but it's definitely like really good for overlooking the B base for sure. This is just really cool. Just vision in general, pretty useful. So that is the middle area here, and if we go through, we can see a lot of low area here. And then up on the A side is where everything kind of gets a lot higher up here, and this is a very flat area where you can kind of just fight everything. One big rock in the middle, a couple buildings to cover this little cap point right here. I do like all of these bushes here that could be used for early light tank spotting in pubs. Competitive might be a bit challenging, but you could use them. I would just find it really fun to go into pubs, sit in this kind of ninja bush in the middle of the map and just not move and see what I can spot and how long I can survive there before I can get taken out or something, because, you know, I'm gonna get spotted eventually, but if I can just sit here for a while with camo net active, I feel like that'd be really fun. I'm pretty excited for this map. Fighting over on the A side, heavies, I would recommend against taking an early crossing. So it does dip down a little bit right here, and you can cross. And one interesting thing about the crossing is that you can go all the way through the enemy's crossing and into these little dips right here, which would keep you safe. However, crossing seems to be extremely vulnerable because, you know, you're just wide open. You don't really have a hill to protect you at all, and you can just get absolutely nuked. The same going the other way. There's like a pocket to protect you if you get there, but it's the getting there that's the big risk. So I personally would not recommend doing that unless you're really confident that the enemy team is not here. But here we have the A base right in the middle of these two mounds, which again, it's kind of an open area, can be seen from both sides. And yes, this could be nice cover if you know that the enemy isn't like fully here, because they do have to commit a little bit to get a reset, but it's not that difficult to do. So pretty much all of these caps are interesting in their own way, pretty unique. And overall, I'm just a big fan of how much playable area there is on this map. Like, you have a ton of maps, like for one, Himmelsdorf, sorry, I meant to say Rockfield and Dynasty Pearl, where half the map is just the borders, right? And the borders just kind of are a lot smaller than the map boundaries themselves. Whereas on this map, you can play up to the red line on all four sides. So lots of playable area. The hills are pretty small. You have these rocks and a couple ledges, but it's not like Yukon where you have these giant, massive jutting things that just cut the map in half and also just take a ton of like footprint in terms of land space. These really don't. And you can actually use a lot of the land when you fight here. We're going to go back into free cam in just a second. So let me go ahead and do that and kind of show you all what it looks like from a bird's eye perspective. So I'm just going to pull up this replay right here. And we were just in, pause it so that we don't have to worry about the time limit, and also don't have to listen to everything. And I'm just going to go and do max speed. I'm really don't like doing that because it looks a little washy, but of course, for now, I just want to show you guys how massive this map is. Like, look at this. This is all playable area. You can see the red line here, everything is usable. Everything pretty much for the most part. All the way to this side, where you do have some stuff on the edge that's not usable. But, you know, for the most part, this is entirely combative space. And even though it's super massive, it's also a pretty closed off map in terms of like being able to shoot from one side to the other. Like, you can't do that really from any point. And even though it looks like it's wide open space, for the most part, you're not able to get those cross map shots in, which is interesting. So mobility is going to be important on this map, I feel. I'm not sure if a heavy or a super heavy, or I should say super heavies, because heavies, you know, they can do anything, right? But super heavies may struggle a little bit here. So take a look at these nice little temples. I do enjoy the artwork on this map as well. I think it looks pretty good. You can just kind of take a look in general at the scenery. I think it's really nice. Very fancy artwork here. There's a giant little temple that we can see. And this one right here. And this little guy right here. You can see something in there. Very fancy stuff. And here we go. That is your lagoon map. Pretty cool. I am a big fan of this, and honestly, this could be one of my new favorite maps, if not my new favorite once it comes in, just because of the complexity of the gameplay that I can see on this map. Both from pubs and a competitive standpoint, I think this is going to be super interesting, especially in the future, you know, watching the meta develop as people, you know, understand things more, get more experience with the map to try new things. And yeah, that's just how all maps go, right? All the complex maps, you know, they're just constantly developing. And so I think this one will be no different at all. So looking around here, because I do remember seeing something, but I don't remember where it was. So I am just trying to see if I can find it, but I don't think I will. But we've got our fancy little map overview here that I will do one more time. Again, this is the C base. The B base right in the middle, where is also in counter cap. Then a nice open field areas around the spawns. And A base. There you go. Here is your overview of the map. Ta-da. I hope that y'all enjoyed. I wish that I could fly a little bit higher because, you know, I don't have my mod that allows me to do so. I'm on the test client, which is a completely different Blitz installation, and I am not trying to mod my open test. That would be really dumb. You know, just not worth it. And it wouldn't really get me a whole lot out of it in the end, but pretty looking map. I am excited for it to come. I can't remember the last time that I was actually excited for a certain map being introduced into Blitz like this. I mean, honestly, my favorite of the newer maps is probably Normandy, and even that's been in the game for a fairly decent amount of time, so yeah, I'm excited for this one. I hope that y'all are too. And yeah, that is kind of what I wanted to show you in between the sets today. So that is what we are seeing here. Oh, and look at me, there's me and the T100 LT with the replay paused and everything. So yeah, we'll be excited to see how the meta does develop on this map. Because of course, I think it's going to be mobility and rotations just because of how wide open the land is, but at the same time how closed off each sides of the map are to each other, which I think is a pretty cool combination of things to have. Yeah, numerous combat zones. Not a ton of long-range sniping. Yeah, exactly. TDs could struggle a little bit on this map too. I mean, there's a lot of bushes everywhere, so you could catch someone out with, like, some of the firing lanes. Like, I think coming up here could be interesting, because you've got a couple of these little bushes that overlook. See, I forgot to highlight that earlier. So a little sneaky that you can do to reset, but also at the same time, if you do so, you can expose yourself a little bit. Like, if you're sitting right here, someone could shoot you from all the way back there if you somehow do get spotted. So there isn't any really perfect spot that I've been able to find yet. There have been a couple creative positions that I have found and kind of looked at a little bit, but nothing super, you know, game breaking, I think, in terms of like an OP position. But it's been fun to just kind of explore it, try a couple like interesting paths. Like, I know one thing that I did test out was if you spawn in here, I was only able to get this with the T100 LT while using speed boost. I'm not very good at boosting, and I'm sure that there's other people that could be better than me. But there is a solo boost where you can drive down here and right past where this T100 is. And then if you get all the way up here, this could be a quick and easy way to get to these top ramps and the overlook of the sea base, because the only other way to do so is to drive in the open across up to this ramp, or to drive all the way out into sea and either drive up the enemy ramp or turn around and drive up your own, of which I think both of them will be rather challenging to do. But yeah, that's what I think about this map. I'm pretty excited for it. That was your little sneak peek from the 34-watt B stream on what it'll look like. I don't know if I will do a dedicated open test stream, because a lot of content creators have been able to do so. I signed up for it, but with all the tournaments going on, I just don't think I'm going to have the time, to be honest with you. I am streaming 6 days in a row, starting today. I've got... Hold on one sec. I'm typing in my password, and I can't really type it and talk at the same time. Sorry. I've got today, I've got the second day of PYS 2, and then there's a 2-day break for the spring season. But I will be streaming during that time for the 1v1 tournament for ratings. And that will be the 2 days after PYS. And then after that, we've got PYS number 3, 2 days in a row. So that is, you know, 2 + 2 + 2, 6 days in a row of streaming, which is kind of nuts. So it looks like I just got my invite. So we will go ahead and turn up. Let me set things up first all, because I can't show it everything to you yet. But let's see, we can show the icons here, because I have icons for both of the teams that are playing right now. The players that are in, or the teams that we will be watching right now, are Panda and MM. So we watched Panda defeat Lux, who didn't show for their first game and only had 5 for their second. And MM played against Hako, of which it sounds like I heard that they went 2-0. Let me quickly, I guess, instead of going into just chatting thing, I could probably just show you all the brackets and how well everybody did. I don't expect to see any upsets for the very first set of PYS day 1, you know, because that's just how it typically goes, the strongest teams against the worst teams. But we can look anyway here, and let's find out. So if I zoom myself in here, Nox beat BS, no surprise, 2-0, 2-0. 2-0, 2-0, 2... Oh, this is already ended. Okay, so some of these sets are already playing. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Hako beat Lux 2-0. 2-0, 2-0. Oh, we got a 2-1. There you go. Yeah, every single set thus far has been a 2-0 in terms of the upper bracket. So, not a whole lot of surprises, as it's basically the strong teams matching against the weak teams. That's just how seeding works, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, we can, I think, yeah, we do have the ability to show the in-game training room. Yes, we do. And it looks like we are watching an interesting lineup here for both teams, although for different reasons. This is Castilla, which is a fun map where a lot of mobility is used, but it is sometimes a slower paced map, which does cause tension to build up. Ooh, also, I just realized I have the wrong icons. If I click update, there we go. Bang! MM and Panda, 2 very nice avatars. But the reason I say both lineups are interesting for different reasons, so they're both running a lot of mobility, right? So we've got a Sturve on both sides, but forgetting that, we've got double LT for MM and LT 907 for Panda. So 907, a tank that we actually did see before in PYS for one game. I wonder why the 907 is being picked over a T100 LT for the second one. Obviously, there must be some reason why they're choosing that tank over the T100. What it could be right now, not 100% sure, but we will figure that out. But Panda running a bit of a slower lineup with their Kronvons, which isn't really a very aggressive tank, having that auto reloader, high burst but low overall DPM type gun. They will bring an IS-7 and MLE though for some bigger hitting guns. MM, on the other hand, a couple concepts in there. Will also run the IS-7, but basically the main difference between these lineups is Kronvon for concept. Also the 60 DP for the MLE, but both of them are just those tungsten tanks, right? So honestly, not nearly as different as people think they are. They're obviously they're used for different reasons, but at the end of the day, the tungsten boost is what makes both of these tanks elevated, right? So there you go. And also everybody who is playing, I ask that you do not spoil. I see Trath that you were in the chat saying room is up. Yes, I'm all good in there, but please do not spoil the results of a game before the game appears on stream. I'm delaying for 3 minutes. That is how everybody is doing their delays for tournament streaming. And yeah, I do ask that you try not to delay. But anyway, we are about to start here. I wish both teams good luck. Let's get it. And yeah, here we go. Game number 1, Panda and MM. Also, I missed the follow from Eris. Eris, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And yeah, welcome to the stream. Hope that you're enjoying today. Here we go. Danny says, where am I going? Sherman says, quickly cap D. Panda's clearly goofing around a little bit. You silly goose, there's no D cap. Hee 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 ha. But yeah, I am excited for this set. MM, of course, they've got something to prove. They had a very disappointing season in the winter. But now, of course, with a new lineup, is it an improved lineup? That remains to be seen, I suppose. But they are, of course, vying for something greater than going 1-6 in top 16. And right away, it looks like MM is going to bringing their T100 LTs into the B base for some early caps. Now, will Sherman get the blind reset is the question. I drove through that building. Prada got spotted somehow. Maybe Palfalupi got the spot when Prada drove wide. But big shots being thrown his way. Only takes a couple here. Sherman put one in, and it looks like maybe it was Ranger or one of the Krons that did it. But Prada's going to get away with most of his hit points intact. Concepts from MM have been brought all the way over to the A side, so they will be playing on the church, and Steven's actually alone there, although MM doesn't know that right now. But MM is going to grab the A base as well, so MM is in front of Steven. They are behind Steven too. Panda will finally grab the C base, and their double Kronvons are lined up overhead, see if they can nuke anything that gets in their way. Putting one shot into Smooth Dude right away, who's already backed off of the A cap. He is, or sorry, from the A church area. He's going into the campy position that is often used in pubs. Also, Nico G was able to successfully grab the A base, so at the moment, the cap lead is in favor of Panda. However, Panda is, or sorry, in favor of MM. However, Panda is making moves right now. They have themselves set up so that they are rotating back towards the A side, and MM honestly has a lot less support there than they should, potentially. Mothra not really in a position to help out with A. Nico, G, Trath, Smooth Dude, all pretty far back. I mean, Trath isn't, but checking out Schlatt as well, and Blue-Eyed Soul, who's in an interesting position. But oh my goodness, Trath getting nuked. Look at those Kronvons putting in work. Do we see the kill? No, HE not able to get the kill. You would have had to hit an HE and roll 600 to get that kill, but Not quite able to get that in. However, Steven coming in from up top may be able to put some shots into Trath. He's in a little bit of a crossfire here. He's got the hill behind him to prevent him from those Krons shooting at him. However, Panda is now realizing that they do have an opportunity here. Filippi missing that shot from Nico, but he is going to try to take the A base. And I would imagine that he can do so much more safely if he just sat on the left side of the base. However, he is trying to get those trades in. I7 is really nicely held down, though, so it'll be difficult for him to push him out without going too far forward. Trath has taken a shot, and Steven is aiming to get the kill here. Trath can't even back down because of those Kronvons shooting across map. Steven can't get the kill, and he's actually taken half of his hit points for it. But Panda's starting to move in, but Danny's taking some big hits right here. Mothra, Prada putting in some shells. The light tanks from MM are moving away from the Kronvons, so they are going to try to avoid that. But Blue Eyed Soul going from behind, seeing if he can take Danny out. But Danny does have his full clip in here. Will Blue Eyed Soul be able to roll high, get the kill? No, he misses the shot. However, Danny misses one as well. Nico does fall on the other side of the map. Looks like Blue Eyed Soul is struggling. Trying to see if I can find the action here. There we go. Smooth Dude is getting pushed out. Sherman, Ranger, Steven, all around here. Trath somehow not dead yet, and it was in fact Nico that fell first. But down go 3 tanks right in a row for MM. Smooth, Trath, and Blue Eyed Soul. They will all fall. And Prada was finally able to pick up a kill there. Jta is low, but Danny, low hit point tank for Panda as well, is relatively safe. War Machine falls as well, though, so that's 2 quick tank deaths. Also, looking at the left side of the screen, you can see all those module damages in there for Ranger, Steven. Both of them very much suffering right now. However, Panda does have some high hit point tanks doing just fine here. Sherman, Pafaluppi going to take care of Mothra in just a second. And now it's just everybody left against Schlatt. Sherman should be able to pick up the kill here. Yeah, Schlatt not even bothering at this point. Looking for Danny. Not going to get it. Game 1 to Panda, although admittedly, that was relatively close. Hit points are pretty good. I mean, MM could have done better to get some kills there. Panda did a very good job at hiding their low hit point tanks long enough to keep their guns effective. And Sherman on top with 4k damage. Looks like 907 is, in fact, the best meta tank right now for competitive because he did the most damage, right? So, makes sense. That is exactly how it works, I promise you. Anyway, game number 2 going to begin. This is only a best of 3. Again, day 1 of PYS is entirely best of 3, so we're only going to be seeing 3 games max. And if Panda takes this one, then we're not even going to see the tiebreaker map, which I haven't checked yet. But we are going to be having continuous action for the remainder of the stream. As soon as this set ends, we will be watching the losers finals, and as soon as the losers final ends, it goes straight to grands. There's no in between. So that is how it's going to work. Hope that y'all are ready for action for the rest of the stream. Hope that the games are competitive. Now Hako will remain to fight the loser of this set, and I hope that is going to be more competitive than it was to see Panda fighting Lux, because Lux didn't really field a team today, which is disappointing, but that's just how it goes. Interestingly, both teams here are bringing a Sheridan, so both of them have the same idea at the same time, but for different spawns. So curious to see how it's used. I would imagine the north spawn Sheridan, which is belonging to MM this time, I imagine it's going to be used to try to spot the B base, similar to where Sherman took the 907 last game. You know, it's a common spot to bring a light tank early on and do it. What looks like a TD position for pubs, but in competitive, it's often a light tank position. Back when I played competitive in like 2016-17, when the Bat Chat was the only light tank in the game, I was the team's Bat Chat driver, and that's exactly where I would set up on our North Castilla spawn. And Castilla was our strongest map at the time. We had a pretty good strat, and honestly, I feel like even now the strat wouldn't be too bad, but with all the pushing meta, you know, things have definitely changed since then. But either way, that spot is useful then, and it's useful now. Will they use it, though, is the question. Looks like Panda will be again pushing Kronvons right onto the C area. It is a good spot where you can kind of shoot long range and see if you can nuke something out, either if MM pushes something hard into the C side, or if they go A. You know, the A side you can get shot from all over, but C, as long as you're hiding behind this giant hill right here, it's not really easy for the other spawn to shoot you. Looks like MM did not do what I thought they would. I thought maybe that Sheridan would play up top, but No, he's not going to be doing that. Instead, trying to see if he can get a sneaky spot there. He gets proxied. Is he going for the reset? Ranger takes some damage, but Aiwei takes even more and actually misses his own shell there. So, unfortunately, that didn't work out for him. However, Sherman trying to run away is going to take some damage. Ranger as well. Looks like the Sturves were both ready for that. And Aiwei is now actually ready to see if Panda crosses here as well. However, nope, he's not actually looking. In fact, Ranger could definitely put a shot in there. Will he do so? Nope. But the B base was successfully defended. I tried to say both of those words at the same time. did defend the B base. They have A, so they are up on the caps. And well, it's not quite ready to grab C. No, it looks like they are. Now they're going to bring Ranger right on in there. See if he gets a blind fight or not. He's right on in there. Will Aiwei try to go for anything here? He's getting up to the position where I thought he would originally go. But he won't be able to blind fire. Anyway, Ranger is hiding pretty well there. Gets the base, runs away. is over 100 points in advantage though, so Panda does have the need to pick up a couple kills in order to equalize things. Of course, Aiwei being pretty low hit points will make that easy if they're able to catch him out, but that isn't always the easiest thing to do. And Sherman has actually taken some shots himself. He's on 1100 hit points. Now Mothra is the sole C-side spotter here for and he puts one into Jta, who's running away in the IS-7, crosses over, spotted, don't know by who, maybe Katie in the 60 TP, who is on the B defense position area. He can kind of see through B here, also see through C area as well. But is actually bleeding Panda quite well here. They take the hit point advantage as Danny takes a couple shots. Who is the one shooting him right now? It is Schlatt up top. Was that a blind shot? Danny's not spotted right now. War Machine is, though. Schlatt could put one in if he's looking properly. Is he? Not at the moment. Trying to get himself into a better position to do so. MM's got both of their Sturves up here for some nice DPM. Panda got their E5, also being supported by a couple tanks as Panda's starting to rotate. Do they have anything there? Yeah, Ranger's in a sneaky position. Don't know what Ranger's doing exactly. Never seen that really used a whole lot, but there's got to be something here. Maybe a sneak into A from the red line could be a potential play there, but wouldn't count on that happening right now with both of these Sturves up top. Though, they haven't taken any damage, and they've actually put another 1,000 into Panda. Getting quite low there. The Kronvons still holding up top, but Danny actually has fallen back quite a bit, and Mothra himself has pushed forward, who was the previous spotter. But uh-oh, Ranger takes a hit, but Aiwei is getting into the base here. Now, War Machine's right there. Is anyone else ready for Panda? Panda is mostly pushed onto the A side. I'll check it out in a second, but I do want to see what happens here. Mothra's taking the hit, but Aiwei is going to grab the base. However, oh my goodness, before I could even click on Prada, who I wanted to click on, he's gotten completely nuked by Panda. And starts their push here. The Sturves going to be the target. And looks like they're trying to target Jta here, but he's only lost half of his hit points, and he's already falling back into A. Ranger, who's crossed far here to get side shots on him. And actually, Mothra gets taken out at C as well, so no kills here for But a perfect push from Panda, and look at all these low hit point tanks. Ranger, Jta, Pafalupi, all hit point sharing quite well, and it's just Steven whose full hit points here has got to take some of the shots for but would be unwise to put shots into him. You got to start getting kills, and Nico putting one into Steven. Now you got to kill Ranger or Pafalupi or something like that. Shooting the high hit point tank, not the way to go here, and he's going to lose his full hit points here without having taken anybody out. He will try for Jta. Will he have time to get it? Does. Pafalupi also falls to Katie. But down they go, and it is just those two left, and Aiwei, who took the initial damage, hiding a little bit behind, about to be chased down by Steven. He can put in one more shot. No, doesn't even have time to do that. And that's a 2-0 for Panda. That one admittedly less close. It was very good looking for for a while. But Panda's rotation, quite effective. Again, I wanted to click on it earlier. I was going to click to Prada immediately after the base, but he got nuked before I could click on his name. Oh, dear. That is unfortunate for Prada, unfortunate for but it means that we will be seeing play again here, as we've got our next training room invite open, which means I am going to hide the screen as I join it, of course. But yeah, good job for Panda. They secure themselves a spot in the grand finals for PYS Day 1, which also means that they qualify for tomorrow. So congrats to Panda. They are already in tomorrow. Of course, they want to win their group as well. They want to keep themselves on top as they are currently tied for first place. Wait, are they? No, they're not tied for first place because they were in Origin's group. No, they're in 8th, I think, actually. Hold on. Yeah, they're in 8th because they were in Origin's group. And Origin... Was it Origin's group? I think Joker's group. Maybe it was Joker's group. I don't remember. They were in a group. I think it was Joker. Yeah. And Joker 3-0'd them. Joker just absolutely slapped them. So yeah, it was Joker's group. So, I mean, unlucky matchmaking for them. Well, whereas like 4L and Reggie got their easier groups that I think Panda easily could have won either way. All right, sorry, I had to take care of some spoilers in the chat. As you guys can see that I typed it in there. I do not tolerate it. I want my viewers to be able to enjoy the experience. And Trath, who is playing in the game, spoiled by saying, "Oh, our set's over. Are you guys spectating the new one?" Trath, you need to understand that you are playing. You have the information before the viewers do. All right? So do not share it if you have it. Please. Thank you. 1 hour timeout. No warning. No question. Anyway, here we are. I have to hide the icons. I forgot to change the names. Oopsie daisy. Hako is going to be this team and hide icons. There we go. There we go. So Hako versus MM, and Hako did defeat Lux 2-0. Perhaps unsurprisingly, considering Lux did not field a full team of 7 today, but they actually did not have a very bad PYS number 1. I'm going to try to see if I can pull that up right now and see how they did. But I do remember that they beat a decent team, which I didn't fully expect them to do. Brackets. I mean, they didn't do too well day 2, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they got 4th place on day 2. But day number 1, they looked all right. I'm trying to see if I can find their day 1. Hako. Yeah, they beat Veli 2-0. So they did play against Lux in that bracket as well. So they've had Lux twice now, which is pretty funny. And Panda twice as well, actually, now that I see this. These brackets are very similar, which is kind of weird. So Panda, Hako, and Lux were all in the same bracket for day 1 of PYS number 1 as well. So that's really goofy. But Hako beat Veli, and Veli was top 16 last season. So honestly, good on Hako. Looks good for them. This will be my first time watching them, and we'll see how they do. They are playing on Canal here with an IS-4, 2 IS-7s, 1 T100, double Kron, and a 60. So a little bit of a slower lineup, kind of with an IS-4 and a 60, which I didn't expect to see both of those anchor tanks on this map. Obviously, the rest of the tanks are mobile, and that's 5 of them, so it is still the majority of their lineup, but still not something that I typically expect to see. Whereas MM, running much more mobile tanks, as you can see there, or rather I should say they're running all 7 mobile tanks in contrast, with 2 T100s, 2 Sturvs, and 3 E5s. So same amount of Sturvs per team, but an extra light tank advantage, and also the triple E5s is nice for having that reactive and pushing ability. Because in Canal, of course, that's a lot of what the gameplay comes down to, especially for MM having the south side, but no. They'll be pushing for north instead. I was going to say, typically what ends up happening is one of the sides has to push into the other. And the triple E5 is going to be nice for it, but look at these STRVs. Hako bringing both of theirs with speed boost to the A corner. Blue-Eyed Soul, yeah, everyone's getting spotted now. The question is, will these guys get nuked? No, Hako was not ready to nuke them. They're not going to cross this far path, though. They're scared to do that. That means Hako's got the advantage in terms of positioning here. No, MM does start driving in. They've got a T100 now, so that's 3 tanks in this corner. They should be able to handle this pretty nicely, and the rest of the E5s are crashing right on down into those IS-7s. Hako bringing their IS-4 around through the middle, but the 60 TP a little bit far behind here. But Schlatt's actually taking a lot of damage here, and Blue-Eyed Soul needs to start putting in some damage here, doing some work, because Schlatt is going to go down quickly here. Need some hit point sharing here from the T100, but in comes the IS-7s from behind, and Matador is actually taking a few shots here. Down goes Schlatt, actually, so Schlatt does fall, despite MM having the initial advantage here, and in comes Hako bringing their T100 LT into the mix as well. Yeah, Hako now does have the tank advantage, but in comes the E5s, and Katie taking massive damage there, and Prada as well. Up top, they were able to get the kill on him, though, but down goes Prada. Katie, who's got himself in the mix, and finally activating reactive. That is a very late reactive, Katie. You've already taken over 2,000 damage. Should have activated it way earlier. That was a very poorly timed reactive armor there, and it's a 4-on-5, but Akio needs to fall. If Ioway is able to pick up the kill on him immediately, get this shot, get the kill. No, a miss there. Mr. Bondo goes down, though. It is a 4-on-4. Ioway needs to pick up the kill now. Finally hits it. There we go, but you're starting to lose hit points here. Blue-Eyed Soul extremely low. Lindina could pick up the kill with the high roll, with the max roll, that is, but not looking that way. Instead, the 60 TP going to pick up the kill as well. And MM is a tank down here. Sorry, it's not a tank down. They're about 1,200 hit points down. Tanks are even, but Mothra should be able to pick up the kill on Lindina. Nico G trying to run away, kind of backs himself into a wall there, and Kiki not even worrying about that kill, going to try to shoot Ioway, although Mothra was able to pick up the kill up top, and Ioway going to try to focus down the IS-4, but the ram kill on Nico as well. However, this is actually not too bad for MM. They have a light tank surviving at the end here, and Mothra up top. They've got a bit of a crossfire going on, and all Ioway has to do is run away and start capping, and it'll actually be a significant challenge for Hako to bring this back in terms of caps, because this is a very large map with 4 bases. Even if Hako splits up perfectly, they can only cover 2. And that is going to give Ioway plenty of time. He makes his way all the way to the D base immediately. Now, I will say MM's execution was extremely sloppy this game. They had the tank advantage up top, but their Sturv K Blue-Eyed Soul was a little bit too passive. I take that back. He was way too passive for a while and allowed his teammate Schlatt to just get completely destroyed, as well as that one-shot T100 LT surviving for a long time. I don't know why Mothra's playing so far forward. He's just going to get himself shot here. Good reactive armor, though, I will say. Didn't return the fire, though. I'm getting in the A base now. Wait, Ioway got out of D. What is Ioway doing? MM, come on. You lost your win condition. Ioway's not going to be able to help get the kill here. It's just not happening. Mothra's dead and potentially one shot if Kiki doesn't roll, or if Kiki rolls high. Fjord spots Ioway. What is going on? He's going to try to hunt Fjord. Misses the shot. Mothra is a one-tap now. This face hugging, what is he doing? He finally puts in one shell, but you could have grabbed the D base before doing that. What is the play here? Puts in a second. This is a yikes. Kiki messes the HE, though. Wait a second. Both teams are throwing. And now all of a sudden, Ioway's position looks genius. Now that he's got the crossfire, because the 60 TP couldn't get the kill. And now MM has the base advantage and a tank up. That's a big toss by Hako right there. I was just talking about how poorly I think MM played the end game, but here we see Hako. I mean, I will say the HE, like, yeah, like 7 times out of 10 you could expect that to kill, but come on, the E5, man, face hugging. He's gonna try to gun block you, and Fjord doesn't have anything. Ooh, he gets the kill on Mothra. Nice snap there. I was gonna say he doesn't have anything on the B base though, and Ioway, who's in the B base, grabs it. Now that's 3 capture points for Hako, or sorry, for MM, and Hako not going to be able to do a whole lot about that. 200 LT, all he has to do is run away. As long as he doesn't drive into Fjord here, which I don't know why he's staying anywhere remotely close, to be honest with you. If I were him, I'd be driving to D. You do not want to accidentally be caught up by the IS-4. In theory, the IS-4 could have driven up the B ramp, gotten an HE into I-way, and ended the game. You know, I mean, obviously it didn't happen, and he only needs to survive for a little bit longer, but play it safe, man. That game was way too close for comfort there. And MM does snatch victory from the jaws of defeat there. And yeah, 1,000 points gets hit, and MM takes game 1. Holy cow. GG there. MM feeling really good about that one. I mean, feeling good about getting the win, I suppose. I wouldn't really feel good about the gameplay if I were either of those teams, but, you know, they pulled it out in the end. That is what matters, of course, and, you know, neither of these are top 8 teams at the moment, so maybe you expect the gameplay quality to be a little bit worse than if you're following the high-level teams like your Jokers and your Apexes that we did for the past 2 days. But either way, a win is a win, and they can't be too upset with themselves about it. And at the end of the day, the only thing that they can do is look forward to the next game, which is going to begin in about a minute and 20 seconds from now. Sorry, the sun in my eye is bothering me. Okay, we're good. And an interesting tank here, bringing a VK-72. Not a tank that I would expect to be seeing on Canal. Maybe I could see it for use grabbing the B base, considering MM has the north spawn now, which spawns much closer to B. But this is a very rotational map, so I will be interested to see how they plan to use it. Also bringing in a Sheridan potentially as their only light? Yes. And Hako doing the same. So both of these sets, man, they switched to the Sheridan at the same exact time. The double SCRVK remains for Hako. MM no longer running them, switching to double IS-7. Oh, they do have a T100. I missed the T100. Sorry, they are keeping the T100 as well. And replacing an E5 with a VK. Interesting times. So yeah, we'll see how Hako and MM plan to change up their strategy now. I mean, Hako still has the double stirves, so they will be able to do something similar if they try to go A corner again. Is that double 140? No, okay. But Hako switches out of the Sheridan into a 140. Okay. Maybe potentially to be used as a light tank killer, since technically has a little bit more DPM and brawling capabilities than the T100 LT. However, in terms of all-around utility, not 100% sure if the 140 is the better pick there, because the T100 LT outclasses it in pretty much every other way, which are usually more valuable for competitive scene, including the, you know, the mobility, the camo, and the, well, I mean, those are really at the low profile. Yeah. Anyway, game number 2 will begin here. Sorry, I had to feel around for the controls there. And MM splitting their light tanks early, sending their Shared into D. Hako's going for a quick low push, though. Interesting. Straight through the B area. See if they can catch MM capping B. However, that is not what Blue-Eyed Soul is doing. I thought that's what he might have been doing, but no. He, in fact, notices the double SDRVKs, and I'm curious what his line of sight is, because he's not yet spotted. But he does have, like, the ability to shoot them. There we go. He is spotted now. He's going to definitely back himself out there. And avoiding getting shot from the other side as well. He may take one shot here from the IS-7. Does he? No, bounces it. Hako does bring their 140 into the A base. MM not quite capping their own yet. They brought their E5s and IS-7s all in here. They are now setting up to support Blue-Eyed Soul, who has plenty of cover here. And in fact, they've gone so ballsy as to put their T100 in the C base. And Akio going for a blind shot. Kiki's not going to be able to spot anything. And the rest of Hako's tanks are all just bunched up here. Yeah, tries for the blind fire, but not going to get that this time, unfortunately, which will mean MM is back up on the cap. And Blue-Eyed Soul is the sole anchor point here for the team. Now, Hako is trying to grab the B base. Now, will Blue-Eyed Soul go for a spot here? Won't spot anything because Tragic is capping on the right side of the base. Left side from his perspective. Grabs it, sneakily drops down without getting spotted, so at least Hako does keep the points close. They are within 30 of each other. So things will be close, all things considered, but of course at the end of the day, Hako will need to push this time. And if they are pushing, they will be pushing into a VK-72. And lots of tanks backing it up. They will be sending a Mothra around here, maybe for a little bit of vision, but also defending the sea base, because of course the sea base is probably the easiest target for Hako right now. If they do want to try to take the cap lead back, it would be somehow fighting for C, because pushing all the way through all of that land to get to D, extremely difficult, especially considering all of the bushes here in plenty of places for a sneaky light tank, or even heavy tank, really, just kind of trip you up. You can kind of see even Katie is sneaking around in a bush here. Also, looks like Blue-Eyed Soul finally took the first damage of the game, a shot from Ikio, I believe it was, although I can't obviously see that right now, it was off camera. But the only shot that has been put in this entire game so far. Now Mothra does spot the STRVK as well. Oh, there we go. Everyone's getting spotted now, and I believe that was Iway, though. Yeah, sneaking around in the T1R LT. Some good spots there. He's going to bail immediately. But Hako is starting to set something up on the C side. And I do think that is aware of this, although honestly I think they aren't responding as well as they could. Most notably, Nico is still being very far away. Like, what use does Nico have right now? Not 100% sure. If he's trying to hold something from the enemy spawn, he's not even facing that direction right now, and he's not even able to spot anything coming in from this side. So I don't know the utility of his position, and it seems like is starting to agree with that. They will send him forward. No, he's going further back. Interesting. I don't know if I agree with this. Maybe they think Hako has rotated all the way around, but their tanks are getting spotted. Here's Fjord. And Fjord running into 3 tanks. Here's Smooth Dude and Mothra both missing. Katie trying to line his up. Blue-Eyed Soul missing his own as well, or maybe he did hit that. Someone hit theirs, but Fjord is finally taking damage now. Could have taken a lot more, but Hako is starting to come in here. Lindina and Tragic starting to hunt down Blue-Eyed Soul. Nico's actually going to go around for a sneak into the B base to stop that from occurring. Meanwhile, the STRVKs are starting to push into Katie here, but Prada going to be holding off nicely as well. The kill on Fjord happens on the C base, so is able to hold it. The Kyo starting to fall as well on B, trying to protect it from Nico, who was not able to grab it in time. However, the kill on Blue-Eyed Soul does happen, and the points are still within 30 of each other. Though, stopping the B base, getting the kill on Matador all the way around the push through D. Another tank does get onto D, though, and that is going to be the STRVK. He's going to find himself alone against 2. Akio dies on the B base, who we were just spectating, but Smooth Dude falls as well off camera. The question is, will Katie or Prada be able to pick up the kill here? It's 960 points. You just need to get the kill. It's going to be Nico from behind, and 1,000 points are reached, meaning that does take the game there as well. They will win 2-0 over Hako and qualify for day number 2 of the PYS. That is going to put in favorable conditions to remain in the hunt for top 8. Hako, this definitely does hurt them not qualifying for the second day, because you do get a lot of points for qualifying for the second day. So a little bit of a disappointing finish for them, of course, I'm sure, but finding themselves back against Panda here, as we do get our invite. So you know what that means. You get to see me again as I hide the screen and join the training room and set everything up. But and Panda do have their rematch, as I set up the icons, and I can in fact show them here. So let's get it. Should have heard the VC with Indian Mothra and grip. But yeah, let's get it. So the map is going to be Fort Despair for games number 1 and 2. And I guess I can look at the tiebreaker, although it didn't come down to a tiebreaker last time, and I haven't really been checking in the past. It's nice to have that information. So they will have Oasis Palms as their tiebreaker. Got it. I will take a moment here just to grab a drink, because I am starting to lose my voice a little bit here, and I want to keep my vocal cords well lubricated. So I'm going to go to the Be Right Back screen. Here we are, able to show the training room once again, and again, Fort Despair will be the map for the first 2 games here. It looks like Panda's still loading themselves in here. I'm wondering if we are going to see an M48 from Skips. That would be interesting. First for the M48. Well, technically, if you count the M60, we did see that on Tuesday. But with a certainly one of the lineups of all time here for Fort Despair, running triple Cron, double IS7 and IS4, although looks like that is to be determined as they are not fully readied up, but a goofy lineup indeed. Goofy and perhaps silly as well. Double IS4, double IS7, double Cron, and whatever Smooth Dude's using. That's nutty. That is nutty. Panda on the VK72, respectable tank. Kind of took the meta by storm, I should say. Not like it's a meta, like main staple tank, but it's solid, and it's finally getting its respect as solid ever since it got Tungsten, honestly. So Tungsten really just is that, you know, that consumable that elevates tanks to the next level, right? It's a solid increase in alpha damage, so that's why. Alpha damage, therefore DPM, and also module damage, if I remember correctly, as well. But Panda going to be taking a page from MM's book. We've seen MM run a lot of E5s a couple times, and Panda going to be running a lot of E5s this time. 3 of them, 1 Sturv, 1 Cron, so balancing that poor Cron DPM with a Sturv. And VK72 and 60 TP to anchor with that high alpha tungsten damage. And MM will in fact swap out one of their Crons for an extra IS7, so 5 IS tanks and 2 Crons. Pretty heavy lineup, but a couple IS7s, of course, are pretty mobile. Good for straight line speed. I wonder if they're going to be taking those to the A corner. Entirely possible. And I wonder if Panda would take like their 60 there or their E5s. Even the Sturv there as well. I don't know. Could go hard A. Could go anywhere, really. The tanks in Panda's lineup are a lot more flexible, because there aren't that many hulled down like spots on this map where you would take a Cronvon just to hold it, right? You know. So we'll see exactly how that gets used. But 10 seconds until the games begin here. Hold on. Sorry about that. Looks like I forgot to reset the score, haha. But here we go. Game number 1. Sorry for the interruption. It looks like MM is going to the A corner with those IS7s. Predictable? Maybe. I mean, you could have gone to hard C with them as well, I suppose. But Panda, having none of it. Nothing going to the A side. Only the Sturv in the typical TD spot in pubs to do a little bit of passive spotting, but I doubt that tank is going to be using it as a firing position. Most likely just for some vision and then to run. Couple B tanks as well here. Ranger, the VK72, has this little kind of window area to peek through in order to get shots on the B area. And Monkey, pretty far forward, although has reasonable reason to be up here, of course, with the MM IS7s all the way in the A side, backing him up. But they're not grabbing the A base. They've got Ranger and Steve in there, and that seems to be enough to scare them from grabbing the A base. So Panda grabbing C with their E5s basically for free there, and they're just going to rotate back, and really all they have to do now is to hold A, prevent A from being captured, and they're fine. And of course it will give a little bit of time for MM to go around and reset something. No, they're going to grab the B base. So look at Danny. Danny's just being chilling, by the way. He is just chilling like a villain. But Nico going to be grabbing the B base. Panda's going to allow it, actually. They don't need to commit any further. They've got the cap lead. It's by almost 80 points, but not quite 80. But yeah, Danny really is just chilling right now. He has turned around a little bit, but looking good there, my friend. Looking good. And yeah, Panda's got the advantage. Now they hold. This is Fort Despair. Can turn into this sort of gameplay a little bit. Looks like some HEs are going in. Ranger with the 200 damage shot and a Monkey. the first damage that MM will take. Where the vote at? Shota, you can make the vote. You are a mod now. If you make the vote, though, you can't bet in it. So it looks like Mothra is all the way back here. It's like MM maybe setting up a little bit of a base trap in their own spawn with this sneaky little bush strat, but Panda's got no reason to push through that, and I am not surprised that they are not doing so. In fact, they're making slight advances on the A area. Not really. I don't have any intentions on moving forward, but having a second gun over on this area, that being Jta, who has a bit of a different angle on the A base. Between him and Steven, should have no issues. Not that Steven has any issues shooting the base by himself, but I think it is wise to have maybe one tank doing the spotting and the second doing the firing. That way Steven doesn't have to fire his gun, reset his camo, get himself lit, and then not be able to reset any further without taking damage. So having the second tank to do that, a good idea. MM, of course, not really worrying about it a whole lot. You can see from their positioning, they have no intentions on taking A right now. They are just holding. Starting to figure out their own push, which they will do through their own spawn. Most likely to grab C. Will they push through C is the question. It looks like the speed boost from Mothra is going to activate. In comes Iway from behind as well. And he gets spotted, actually. Who spots him? Is it Pafalupi? Pafalupi might have spotted him right there. Yeah, spots Smooth Dude. Look at the gun up right there. He is sneaking those spots in right there. That is a very creative way of doing it. I'm sure that's intentional as well. That's a smart way of doing it. Mothra's taking some shots. Iway as well. And here's Pafalupi spotted. Missing one shot into him, though. It's going to be Schlatt that has most of the points, but he will take hits here from Danny. Oh, Danny going to be shooting Iway, which, of course, going for the focus fire isn't a bad idea either. Schlatt backing off just in time to not grab the base. If he were on for just a bit longer, he would have at least stopped the base. At least grabbed it, but no. Not going to be a thing there. Iway taking damage. And Jta sitting on the B base. You know, they're up a tank, so they can actually afford to have someone sitting on the base not doing any damage right now. Danny and PP War Machine going to be pushing forward into Smooth Dude Mothra. Panda as well focusing down Katie with these two tanks. One high alpha damage, Skip's missing his. With Steven making it up with the DPM, Pafalupi with the clipping. Danny seems to be the focus fire target here for MM, but he's just hugging Mothra here. If he can bounce the shot, that would be massive. Doesn't though. Mothra picks up the kill. Still looking good for Panda though. They're going to pick up Mothra in return. Steven taking out Smooth Dude in just a couple shots here. Now messing up the HE, unfortunately. Skips in his little huggy spot here. No, Nico gonna get the kill there. Smooth Dude falls. Pafalupi picking up Monkey, and now it's just 2 on 5 here. And they are high hit point tanks, but I mean that just shows Panda's dedication to focus firing the right tank. Always doubling up on somebody. It seemed like MM, they doubled up on a tank maybe once, but for the most part, Panda initiated all of that engagement, and all MM was trying to do was hold on to it for as long as they could. But they couldn't. Panda takes it. Not very close. They hit 1,000 points before getting the kill there, so unfortunately not able to close that one out in terms of kills, but you know, a win's a win. They're happy with their performance either way. They executed the defense of the base rather well, and I really like that creative position that Pafalupi took. He also does top damage as well, but putting your turret like aimed up like that with your oscillation, what are they called? Oscillation turrets? I don't know what the exact word was. But that, of course, it increases the armor, but also it looked like his viewport was still just poked out there enough to spot without taking like any risk in return. So that was really creative, and I wonder if that will be used more now that I broadcasted it and people have highlighted it now. But super creative from Panda. Anyway, go back to the training room overlay for the minute or so before the next game starts. Spawn swap and strats change. Panda readying up in a 2-on-5B now. They will keep the crons. Switching the players driving them though. And again, we're not going to be seeing any lights or mediums. Not really a big... Ooh, wait, no, I lied. I didn't see Katie. Katie in a 132-1. I was just about to talk about how there aren't really a whole lot of lights or mediums used on this map. This is a pretty heavy one, similar to Dynasty Pearl, where it's very rare to see one, but, I mean, Katie looks like he's eyeing the tank. I don't know. Nope, 60 DP. I was baited. But yeah, heavy tanks all around. Sturv being the lightest of the heavy tanks, but still existing on either team, I suppose. But this is potentially the last game of the night, by the way, y'all. This is a quick PYS, but this is the grand finals, and Panda is one win away from taking day number 1. And NM needs to ready up. Come on, Schlatt. Picks a Sturv last second. Didn't ready up on my screen, but it usually gives you an extra couple seconds, so I'm sure that MM brought 7. Yeah, there we go. No surprises there. Thankfully for MM, because that did cut it close. Let's get it. Did I miss any notifications, by the way? Doesn't look like it. If y'all are new, please drop a follow, support me, you know. I do these tournament streams. I'm hoping to stream every day for this entire tournament season, so your love is appreciated, of course. Anyway, game number 2, which potentially the last game if Panda are able to close out an undefeated day 1, should of course definitely help them as they want to get their win rate as high as possible. Because right now they are a bit behind on the points, so having good win rate is also important in addition to getting those points. Because they are likely going to be fighting for that spot, and in this case it is very important to have the best win rate that you can. MM is going for an immediate cap. Triple IS-7s in the base here. The Kronvons do have all of their shots. They're going to shoot Ioway and Nico. Well, they will cover Mothra, though. Mothra full health, who got the majority of those cap points, able to grab the B base quickly. Nico taking the majority of the hits, but he's going to push forward as well. That's a bit of an overextension there. Looks like Panda starting to respond with their triple IS-4. At least 2 of them are coming back right there. And Nico is potentially a target here. Schlatt also in the C base. That is telling Panda that MM has an entire tank out of the battle here. This could be an opportunity for them to push. They've got double IS-4, double Kron ready to execute. Those clips are entirely loaded now. Who will the target be? Looks like Mothra taking plenty of damage there for the team. Nico's already bled a little bit here, but again, the hit point sharing could be a little better. And it looks like Katie bounced the shot on War Machine there. IS-4, very easy to bounce shots off of. Nico going to try to push forward, get another shot in, but Focus Fire will continue to go in, this time into Monkey, who does fall. Nico trying to turn some tanks here. Katie is able to get the kill in War Machine because he did turn a little bit too much. But Pafaloopy here to clean up with that DPM. That is often the role that he takes. Is the damage farmer who cleans up in the end. Activates reactive even though no one's looking at him right now. Going to step into the B base because the caps are starting to tick up for MM, but Skips is going to be pretty low hit points, but not before Pafaloopy picks up Mothra. Ranger going to reload that last shell before putting one into Katie. Steven cleaning up the kill. And it is a 5-on-3. Make that a 4-on-3 as Jeta does fall off screen to Jeta falls to Blue-Eyed Soul, who tries to run away, but not able to get out. However, Iway surrounded by 4 Panda tanks right now. Ranger starting to unload the rest of the clip. No, he's going to hold on to those shells, keep a little bit more DPM. But it is a 4-on-2. 3-on-2 as Pafaloopy does fall, so MM not quite out of it yet, but things are not looking good for them. MM has a full hit point Ranger left over and a full hit point Danny to make things worse. It is just Blue-Eyed Soul left alone against 3. And despite the fact that Panda actually saved the highest DPM tanks for last, we were still able to put out the kills fast enough to win the game handily with 2 basically full hit point tanks at the end there. And they are able to take it 2-0 once again, and Panda undefeated for day number 1 of the PYS number 2. Both of these teams, of course, will qualify for the second day of PYS, where they will hunt for plenty of points. But of course, it is day 1 that matters, because you need to qualify in general. And if you don't qualify, of course, you're missing out on way more points than, of course, getting second. So MM, despite probably being disappointed with that, at least they do qualify for the second day, which is an important thing to do. So that is that. Congratulations to Panda. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the tournament's website and take a look at how the rest of the brackets are doing. So we will go ahead. Let's see. Refresh the page. Show all the groups. Come on. I doubt many of them are done. I'm sure that there are a few that are done, but let's see here. All right, yeah, looks like the Joker bracket's done. I'll give you guys one guess on who won that one. Hint: it starts with a J and it rhymes with poker. Yeah, no, Joker 2-0'd everybody. Here we go. Joker, I mean, they only had 2 sets to be fair, but BS got eliminated pretty handily by Nox. So Nox is a step above BS, but Joker's just a step above Nox, and probably everyone else, to be honest with you. But here we go. Set number 2, it looks like 4L dominating so far. No upsets here. This one right here, again, no upsets. VG Valley in the finals. Top 16 Valley from last season versus VG, which is a new team. SLG over straight 2-1, so that was a bit of a closer set. Always good to see. These are 2 LATAM teams. SLG, I learned, is Brazilian. And then straight is led by Troller. He's Peruvian, but this is, I believe, a bit more of a mix than just Peruvian. And I don't think Sponge is Peruvian. He's on the team. So those 2 will qualify. We do have all the qualifying teams. I guess I should take that. So qualifying teams are Joker, Nox, 4L, DVNY, VG, Veli, SLG, Straight, Origin Hated. And those 2 are going at it. You've got Reggie and 1pex. You've got Panda MM, Elev and INHO. Ooh. Okay. No, never mind. That's not surprising. Okay. Elev and INHO. Then Apex and INQ. So Apex won theirs as well pretty quickly. But INQ qualifying again. So well done to them. They've made the second day twice. Expectations were definitely against them, as, you know, they are a feeder to rival, but they're doing well. They've made the second day twice now. Good for them. So Hako did not make it. They made it yesterday. They didn't, and it looks like INHO, I think they take their place. I don't think they qualified for a second day before, but I think all the other teams are the same. No, wait, Veli didn't qualify yesterday. Did INHO qualify yesterday? Maybe they did. I'm just going crazy. I will check that. I just closed that link, so I'm going to duplicate this one and then change this to 6. That's my best way of checking the brackets, which is a goofy way of doing it, but that's how it works. Who qualified for second stage? Did INHO qualify yesterday? They did. Okay, so it looks like Veli is now in and Hako is out, and that's the only difference actually. So yeah, those are your 18 teams qualifying for day 2. Not all of the sets are done. I will go back to this one and I will refresh just so that we can see if any of the sets that weren't finished at the time are finished now. Hold on, am I seeing some subs? 1 second. Let me show this really quickly and then we'll get that. Hold on. So 4L wins. I don't think that was finished at the time. I already saw Reggie won. Okay. I don't know how many of these we saw, but there we go. That is that. All right, I need to see what's going on here. What's going on? What did I just miss? Five subs, yo! Shoto with a 5 gifted. Thank you, Shoto. It's awesome. Thank you so much. General Danger. Let's see. What's this? General Danger, Kujis. That's just Kujis. Immortal, Jisoo, and Tak. Yo! Enjoy your subs, y'all. It's awesome. Thank you so much, Shoto. Let's go. It's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate you for your support, Shoto. I appreciate everyone else who tuned in today. It's been a great stream. You know, I'm enjoying it. Of course, I always enjoy streaming tournaments for y'all, but good to see y'all. I wish I could read chat more, but you know, that's just kind of how these tournaments go. It's especially hard to deal with the 3-minute delay. Also, I did miss a... Did I miss anything else? No, that's it, actually. No, that was it. Just Eris following on Twitch as well, which I did thank them for. All right. MM loses. I'm deleting my account. Rip Army Reject. I'm guessing Army is deleting his account. Well, I appreciate you being here for as long as you were. But hey, GG. It was a good run. Anyway, thank you again, Shoto. I appreciate you for that. And as for everything else going on right now, the tournaments are over. So I am going to go ahead and raid somebody. We are going to go ahead and raid my friend Mystic Crow, who is a lovely gentleman who streams on Twitch, plays World of Tanks Blitz, among a couple other games. But yeah, y'all should definitely check him out. Also, we just hit 2,200 followers recently. That's awesome. We hit our goal of 2,200, so I'm super hyped for that. Good stuff. Let's go. Da-da-da. That's awesome. Congrats to me for 2,200. Let's go. It's hype. And we'll start our new goal of 2,300. Da-da-da. A new follower goal. So follow if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all. Anyway, I'm going to start the raid right now. So go check out Crow. He's an awesome person, awesome streamer, awesome friend. And yeah, thanks again to Shoto for the subs. Thanks to everyone else for watching. YouTube, see y'all around because, of course, you guys don't get to participate in the raid. But to see everyone in here regardless. Now, everybody, as always, stay safe. Happy tanking.